All right, here we go.
That was a false start.
Yeah.
And go.
And hey, okay, here we go. Welcome to the Bada
Podcast, the Bodacast. We got a very special guest this week.
Oh gosh, do we ever?
It's time for the Bada Bing Podcast. Like and subscribe. And now, here are your hosts, Pat and Brian.
Oh, Paul Incaprio,
Our favorite
DP in Chicago.
Yep.
And I pay them a lot to say that.
Yes,
Cheers.
there we go.
Thanks for being
There
here,
we
my
go.
friend.
Certainly.
It's
my
really
pleasure.
exciting.
Thanks
so,
for having
real
me.
quick, we should say where we're at. We're at Doffenbach Camera in Chicago, our favorite rental house.
Yep, great place. I've been here many times. Love it.
Yeah, so thank you for hosting us. And Paul, we can't wait to get the conversation started.
First of all,
let's do it.
What does DP stand for?
Director of photography.
Right. We've known you for
I've known Paul my entire career.
Right.
I'm not as old as you.
3 years.
Oh, that was actually generous. I look that young, huh?
I think you were actually
Yeah,
an
you started
intern when you started
I was an
with us.
intern, yeah.
On that
That's right.
very first shoot, the very first day for Playboy when you came in like a
Yes.
bunny in the headlights.
I didn't know what was going on. I remember my mom said after the shoot, she says, "Were they naked?" I said, "Yeah, Mom, they were naked." That was my first shoot, and you were DP director of that for Playboy because that was it was
that high-end art project.
the high-end
That's
art
part of
project.
the reason I wanted to go to that company to work because I was promised I was going to get on that shoot, but he wouldn't let it go.
But that's when their headquarters was in Chicago.
Yes.
It was.
quite a while ago.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
pretty. A
Chicago
lot
at the
of
time.
people don't know that.
Yeah,
they
I mean-
think LA, but no, it
Yeah,
was
I mean,
here.
the original Playboy Mansion was here in Chicago, right off Lakeshore
know.
Drive. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, how all right.
We digress.
So we know he's directed some or DP'd some Playboy stuff. Where'd you come from? How'd you get started in this industry?
Just ever since I was a little kid, just always, making movies with the, Super 8 camera. We used to do a stop action with like G.I. Joes and Barbies, home movies with friends. We do our little action adventure movies and kind of started there. Then, got into junior high and I was one of those nerds in the AV club.
Were you?
Yeah, that everybody laughed at.
Wow, the AV Club.
I'm not laughing. No, I'm just kidding.
But that's probably what they had available back then in high school, right?
Oh, yeah,
was-
this was in junior high. Junior high, yeah.
That's actually impressive. You even had that.
Yeah, oh yeah, right. We had a little black and white reel-to-reel recorders.
In the 60s.
Sonys.
I'm joking.
But and then just, high school still made more, movies with friends. And then, college went to film school at SIU.
Yeah.
And then from there, just, my path kept, just leading me to where I am now.
I just remembered something. If I don't know. I did some research on you.
I didn't do it. Nobody saw me.
No.
set that up?
I wonder if this helped you get started in the career. Did this give you the bug? You were in My Bodyguard.
I was.
You were in the movie?
Yes, I absolutely
the
was.
Bodyguard movie?
Yes.
You were
Yes.
shirtless.
I was a gymnast in the scene because I was a gymnast in high school. So
Wow.
I mean, if you watch the movie, you'll see me. I'm on the parallel bars.
Yeah.
doing
How
my
many
tricks.
seconds in? You probably know.
I'm probably
It's early on.
I'm 20 seconds there, and I'm also in a locker room scene.
Oh,
So
check it out.
No, that's a great movie actually. But so you went to school where again?
I started at Columbia, but then it was just a little too, out there for me. I mean, I was a young kid at the time. They're smoking weed in the lunchroom table, and
Really?
At Columbia?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. So I was just.
Oh, yeah, square?
And at the time, I'm like, oh man, this school's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Of course, now I'd be one of them doing it. But aside
And you
from
went to
that-
Carbondale
Yes,
after
so
that?
then
And
after
you
that,
thought
I
that was
went
more
to
tame for you?
Yeah, well, that was actually crazier, but it was
Different kind of
a
crazy.
different kind of crazy, right? So then, I went to they had an excellent film program at the time.
They,
There, I think
they still do. They
but
still
at
do.
the time, it was like considered one of the best in the country.
Yeah.
So kind of like learned my craft there to some degree, and
Yeah.
And then you came back to Chicago.
came back to Chicago, freelance for a little bit, had a handful of full-time jobs here and there in between freelancing, and then just back to freelancing now. So yeah, it's been a long. Great career. And right now I'm still at the point because there's like a phase of DPs. It's who's Paul Incaprio? Get me Paul Incaprio. get me somebody like Paul Incapreo. Who's Paul Incapreo? So,
It's a full circle.
I'm trying to stay away from that last part of the full circle.
Yeah.
Give me someone.
Yeah, where it's like, right. You start in diapers and you end in diapers.
Yeah, that's true. But you want to get back to the phase of get me Paul Incapreo. That's the phase you want to stay
get me
at.
somebody like him isn't horrible. But it's like, I don't want to be back to who's Paul Incapreo.
Right. Well, I don't think you're ever going to be because you're so talented. You're so what you do. You're a savant with the camera. With Paul, Pat
He does make a camera sing. I don't know how he does it.
I know I've learned a lot from you personally, and
I haven't learned anything from him.
Well, you don't listen to me then.
That's true. Or his wife.
She doesn't listen to me either.
Yeah. But anyway, well, you've seen a lot of change in the industry over the years. I mean, I'm a little tiny bit younger, like a couple of years, but we've seen a lot of similar stuff. What is the biggest change that you've seen from when you started to now?
Of course, it's technology. I mean, everything's evolving. Everything's, you have cameras for $3,000-$4,000 that make beautiful pictures. Where in the past, it was $60,000 for, we're talking 20 years ago. Right. So now I think there's just a lot more opportunity for people to have access to really good equipment at a lower price. Editing systems were $150,000, $200,000. Now, for $800, you have systems that can blow away those systems. So I think, now I'm seeing there's just a lot more opportunity for people to get involved in the business and do some really nice stuff if they have the talent. You don't necessarily need all the money for this expensive gear because for a small amount of money, you can really do some really nice projects. So that's one of the, just the technology. I think that's really changing.
But you just said something. Just because you know how to use or turn the camera on doesn't make you a DP.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Or an editor.
You know how to push a button doesn't mean you know how to push the button at one time. Right. I always like to say, give me a $500 camera, I'll make something look better than somebody with a $100,000 camera. And I'm not just saying that for me. I'm saying that's for anybody that works in the industry and knows what they're doing. Right. It's a gear, but it's so much the talent behind the gear. And that's what's important. That's why people are worried about AI and technology replacing them, but you still need the creative minds behind all this equipment to produce some good things. I mean, there's lighting programs now that will light a scene for you, but you still have to have the knowledge and the minds to light that scene great.
Because those are tools. You need to have the knowledge, experience.
And you need to know what
creative force behind them.
Right, and you need to know what tools to bring in.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, and like now we're at Dolphinbach right now. Mm-hmm. You need to know what lens that would be perfect for that shot.
Oh, exactly, and that's just it. And lenses are something that, they never go out of style or fashion. Actually, a lot of old vintage lenses are coming back into style. Where camera keeps changing and evolving, lenses are something that they just have a lot of staying power.
Why would anyone want a vintage lens?
Because of the look. It's something that's just not created by today's lenses. I mean, you've got, lead coatings they don't do anymore. Just the way the glass, the way they're manufactured, the way they were engineered. Mm-hmm. It's like anything, you can't recreate something from a bygone area that they just don't do anymore.
Yeah. Gotcha. So as a DP, what gets you excited in your craft and what you do every day for work? What gets you pumped?
When I hear rap, that gets me so excited.
I like when they say lunch.
The big R. The big R.
The big R?
What's
rap?
That's his press.
I'm just kidding. I know.
Whoa. Where'd you go to school again? Leaf Year State.
Yeah. But I mean, just anything that, allows you to hone your craft and take advantage of your talent and skills. Those are always the best projects when you're actually able to do what you're capable of doing. Because some jobs, because of budget, money, time constraints, you're not actually able to give what you can offer. And that's understandable. But when you do have that opportunity, that's when it is the best.
Right.
Yeah, we kind of that all the time. I mean, it goes to like the pre-production. They don't always see the value in doing good pre-production.
Pre-production is so important. I think that still gets lost today. I mean,
yes,
pre-production is 75% of the production because you go into a shoot without having the pre-production needed, and I mean you're setting yourself up for failure.
Right.
In communication, I mean, You know, there's some clients, you know, there's no communication going on. You go into a shoot kind of lost and not, you know, and trying to figure it out when you're there. And that's really not the way to do it. Even with storyboards, sometimes they have the concept, but they still really don't have it locked in or nailed down.
Right,
and it's so important to go and dialed in and know exactly what you're going to be doing.
And to have that camera prep day too.
Yes.
I mean,
oh yeah.
my
Absolutely.
gosh.
Super
I mean,
important.
that's-
Yeah. All your gear. You want to check, make sure everything's exact. You don't want to be out on the shoot and finding problems or finding something missing that you don't have.
Right.
Prep day, super important.
What lights are exciting to you right now? What kind of lights?
Well, I mean, like, you know, everybody's talking about just, you know, the LEDs, the tubes. I mean, they're evolving and moving. You know, they're surpassing the traditional HMI and tungsten. I mean, for years, you know, those were the de facto gold standard go-tos. But now, I mean, they're matching and exceeding what we've used in the past. And you know, easier to work with, lighter, output is greater sometimes. So I mean.
Right. You can plug into a house.
Yes,
You can plug
exactly.
right
You don't
into house
need
power.
the
The Jenny?
gaffer going out there to check the Jenny when he wants to have a smoke.
Like Otis. Yeah. God, we got to get him on a podcast one of these days.
Oh yeah, what is it? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's character.
Yeah, people sometimes mistake me for him. I don't understand.
guys
it.
look-
I
A little bit
I
alike.
think there's some. Yeah, there's definitely some,
Some resemblance.
for sure. For
So,
sure.
Paul, what advice would you give to new DPs, people coming up in the industry from, you know, beginning of their career?
I mean, really, if that's what you want to do, just go for it. You know, a lot of people, and again, sometimes you have to work your way up into it, but just, you know, never get caught or stuck into doing something you don't want to do. I mean, if you have your heart set on being one part of the business, just put all your energy and focus and resources into trying to make it to that area. Because, you know, sometimes, you know, it's competitive. It can be tough. But first off, make sure you have the talent.
Right.
You know, I mean, and that's a big part of it too. You know, and you know, and nothing against certain people, but some people they just won't ever necessarily really have that skill to be a DP,
Right.
and then that's fine. There's other things in the business that you can certainly do, but you know, but just make sure you have the talent, and you know, just know yourself and know what other people say, and then just just charge ahead and don't let anything stop you.
That's good advice. I think a big part of that is also, you know, being able to talk to people and being personable. And
Oh, absolutely,
It's a huge part
it's
of
all relationships.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so
This
huge.
business is such
Yeah.
relationship
Oh,
based.
it's completely relationship based because I mean, you know, there's a lot of talent out there, but it's like, you know, am I going to pick A or B have equal skills? But I love working with A so much more. Who am I going to work with? I'm going
Right.
to work with A because you know it's so important to have great relationship skills with those you're working with.
yeah, it's not always just about the equipment or anything
right.
else. It's
Right.
It's about
It's
about that
what you bring
talent.
personally to the
I
project and how
totally
you deal
agree.
with people.
Yeah.
So, as a DP, what do you think kind of separates you from other DPs? I mean, I know we're great DPs. We love ourselves, but I mean,
It's really kind of just talking yourselves up is one of the biggest things. People that talk
be
themselves
your own salesperson, real
real
proponent.
salesperson. But I mean, it's just, you know, each DP brings their own style and sense of styling and character to a shoot. I mean, like anything, you know.
I think, and personally, and I think you do this just about as good as anyone I've seen, being able to work with your crew and not
Absolutely.
be condescending. I mean,
Absolutely. Right.
there's a lot of DPs out there that
Oh,
you don't even want to, they're not approachable.
Absolutely.
That's huge. Yeah.
And you are very approachable.
And I just worked with somebody not too long ago that had a DP. He was good, but he was just arrogant, full of himself, you know, kind of a dickhead. I don't say that,
who
but I'm
wants to
saying that.
who wants to
Nobody
go to
needs
work?
that.
No, who wants to go to
Nobody
work
needs
and work on a set where the head of the camera department's an asshole? I'm sorry, but you just
no.
no.
It happens.
so
And,
true.
you know, that should go for anybody on the crew.
Right. Anyone.
Anyone.
There's no reason. There's no room for that.
No.
We all got into this industry to begin with
Because we love what we do.
because we have a little passion for it.
Right.
And want to work with good people that also share that passion, that love with what they do. You know, I think a lot of that comes from insecurity, though. I truly do. That people who aren't confident in their own abilities, and they lash out and they treat people poorly, which is just.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to get hired for a while. Anyway.
How do you treat you like that? I'm really nice to Paul and everybody else. Just you.
Well, anyway. Well, hey, dude, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Here,
No,
cheers.
thanks for
Cheers.
having me on. I
Yeah.
appreciate
You're-
it.
Thank
It's
you.
been fun.
We love it. So
We
thanks
love
for
we love
joining
working with
us.
you. We love talking about what we do and what you do, and because I've always looked up to you and your abilities. I learned so much from you. I don't look
You
up
looked
to you.
up to him?
I When I was sitting down.
Oh, okay.
Bastards.
But seriously, Paul, thank you for being here.
Oh,
And,
absolutely. My pleasure.
Yeah.
It's great. And I'll get you on the next Playboy shoot.
yeah.
I wish that would happen again.
Yeah. All right. Until then, thank you for coming to the latest Bada Bing podcast, the Bodacast.
The Bodycast. Thank
Yeah.
you for joining us, and we're going to do more. So,
Yes.
And stay tuned.